Okay, let's make sure that this is going to launch properly. Hello and welcome back to the cronecast at the Rising Moon. My name is Elaine. This is the Spirit Guide Monthly for the month of August. I'm waiting for YouTube to load so I can go ahead and click off the sound. I hope everybody's having a great month. We have 4 piles in our regular pick a card. I'm going to give you a moment with the cards so you can select. Hey, remember, we're in the Lionsgate portal energy. The Lionsgate is particularly good for taking things from the material world, the spiritual world, and manifesting in the physical world. It is the number 8. It's in the 8th house. It's very good for Scorpios and Leos, people with a Taurus rising, a couple of other things. You can go and do a Google search on that, find what the Lionsgate portal is for very easily, but it's good for manifestation. It's great for love. It's great for passion. It's great for bringing in things into the material world with great strength and with an enduring quality. Like the Magician card, the Strength card, which is the Leo card, has the infinity sign on it. That is the number 8. The Lionsgate portal is August 8th, 2022. The Magician's card also contains the infinity symbol over the Magician's head. So that is one of the reasons that it is a particularly potent time for practitioners. Hopefully that's given you enough time to select your piles. We're going to go through our regular housekeeping. We have 4 piles. We're going to start with them. I have the tabletops today. I'm even likely to use them. How exciting is that? Put this here. All right. Bad noise, and the camera is going to readjust. I think that's it. But if I need to readjust it, I will. I hope everybody had a great July. Hey, for everybody who helped me with that little energetic kind of project I had going, know that it went really, really well. I might have to drop that. I do have to drop it one. I'm sorry. It went really well. There was one little epilogue on it in which, once again, they tried to go for my son. And that did not go well for them. And I instead ended up kind of blessing his home, and because I went for his dog, blessing his home, getting rid of a fly infestation because they were going full Amityville on the situation. And I left behind what is called an inversion field, because having gotten a little bit tired of people screwing with completely innocent parties, I decided what was the funniest thing I can do. And I realized that all healers can transmute energy. It's part of the reason that any like dark magic people send towards me have a tendency to not land. It bounces off. Healers naturally transmute dark energy to light energy. When you also practice magic, you can do that with intention. And so that is actually what I did. I left behind an inversion field on my son's place, on me. For anybody that this person has acting on their behalf, because I did cut them off on a couple of areas, what it will cause is a bunch of misfires in all of the spell work that they do. So for instance, if they're trying to curse somebody, they just bless them. And they can't work with it in like an intentional fashion, meaning they can't be like, okay, there's an inversion field here. Fine, we'll bless people and work as a curse. It doesn't. It works with your intent. And it's not to cause harm to anybody. But when I say that I don't do baneful magic, it doesn't mean I can't do anything to protect myself. And that's the same thing for all healers and for all people who don't do any form of dark magic or any form of ill intent or any form of emotionally influential magic other than healing magic. What you can do is lean into the natural gifts that you have of energy transmutation and create an intentional inversion field like that, so that anybody throwing something at you, instead, the energy will be inverted and it will be creating, like if somebody's trying to curse you with poverty, you're going to be like, oh, look at that, another winning scratch ticket. All right. So what is it? It's always allergy time, but let's get going with pile number 1. And again, for all the people who reached out, for all the people who are willing to help me, you have no idea how much it meant to me, how much it means to me, and how I truly, truly hope that you are blessed tenfold for absolutely everything you are willing to do on behalf of another. All right, Tower of the Divine is going to be bringing us a predictive spread for pile number 1. We have our usual cookie cards and our angel answer card. And of course, I have a gajillion oracle cards because that's just what I do every single month. We have focus on the positive. Listen, in this Lionsgate portal energy, which is available to everybody, it particularly for anybody, again, healers have a natural form of magic. That is, since there is transmutation in all forms of magic, people who are healers naturally have a leg up on being able to potently kind of transmute any type of energy. So leaning into that, don't forget, this is the new moon energy as well. This is last night was the new moon. The moon continues for 3 days. The moon phase continues for 3 days. This is a great time to set your intentions, write them down. Usually in a fresh notebook helps. Focus on the positive. Know that you can manifest all that you wish for coming in the coming year. So really focus your energy, clean up your chakras, make sure you're in balance, focus your energy, and you get amazing results this month. I have deceit. Well, that's not the best thing ever. That's what is that deck? That is the House of the Night deck. I have so many decks, I have to check the names now. Remember, deceit is like something that we have to be a little bit aware of, particularly when you walk forward with good intent. You kind of have to develop very good boundaries on extending trust appropriately. Have your guard up a little bit when you get that type of start to any draw. Here, your archetype cards are, these are the shadow aspects you'll be working with and the light aspects you're working with. Hedonist, good. Inspire creative energy to embrace good things in life. Celebrate the beauty in yourself. The shadow attributes is pursues pleasure to the detriment of health, indulges at the expense of others. Remember, everything has a counterbalancing energy. We live best in a state of balance. One of the things that can come in for people who are trauma survivors is people with trauma survivors who are trauma survivors have a form of OCD where they compulsively do things seeking safety. And it can turn towards destructive things, ways that we seek relief from pain. When you're trying to heal, when you're trying to clean up things, remember becoming, there is such a thing as depriving yourself of too much. This is one of the calls to kind of try to live your life in more balance, to make sure that the occasion, because moderation and self-control is exactly that. Moderation is one of the best ways to work with your transmuting and your manifestation energies as well. Doing anything in extremes, it's a rigid definition, particularly in manifestation. It's a rigid definition in all forms of life. Try not to go to extremes. Walk the middle ground if you can. I have the mediator, gift for negotiating fairness and strategy in personal and professional life, respect for both sides of an argument. The shadow attribute, negotiating with an ulterior motive or hidden agenda, either personally or professionally. Hey, with that particular deceit card, we're going to see what that has to do potentially with your work life and your family life. I'm not getting a real personal relationship vibe off of this one. But it is a call to, before acting, make sure that you consider all sides of a situation. All right, from the bird message, we have the dodo, tread lightly on the earth. The dodo bird, of course, is one of the animals that we drove to extinction. It was completely harmless. When they say going the way of the dodo, something is leaving your life. Tread lightly on the earth. Having a consciousness and awareness of the impact of our actions is one of the ways that, again, intent particularly in healing, particularly in magic, really determines so much of how much protection you have, what the results you will have, the permanence of the results that you're having. And particularly when you're working on healing, one of the ways that you can amplify your healing energy is to make sure that the impact that you have on the environment around you is mindful, remembering that we are all one with everything. This entire reality, we're all made from the same materials, essentially. We have something in common with everyone and everything. And if you try to work consciously and mindfully and respectfully and kind of responsibly within this world, you'll get better results in absolutely every area of your life, outside of healing, outside of manifestation, in your personal relationships, in your professional relationships, in everything that is coming to you. I have, whoa, cripe. I didn't look at these beforehand, but it's creepy how often this happens. It's not creepy, it's just, I guess, in line with what I do. We are all connected. Okay, your goddess of the moon energy is nourishment. Hey, with that call for like that hedonism card where indulging and enjoying things, remember one of the stages in healing is regaining kind of enjoyment in life and finding the things that will nourish your soul. Is there are so many stages in recovery because I work with so many trauma survivors, so many abuse survivors, like purging anger, working through that has multiple stages in it. And you get to a stage where you can't feel very much, where you're just kind of like, oh, I trudged through this life. And then you get to one of the final stages of healing where enjoyment comes back and not wanting to waste any time in life and making sure that you savor everything that is available to you. This is saying that one of the energies available to you to kind of draw towards you and to amplify and to ask your guides about is how to nourish your soul, which will again increase your personal power and increase your ability to manifest the reality that you want to live in. We have narrow pathway, 2 calls to tread thoughtfully, and a mediator card. Proceed with caution in your personal relationships as well. Remember the slow and steady approach to any, particularly if you've had to heal from anything, taking things we wade very, carefully into the waters rather than diving into the deep end is the best way to proceed. I have between worlds already. And then I have happy. Well, the between worlds energy is the stasis energy that can be so difficult for people who have been receiving kind of divine guidance and divine protection on a healing journey. Is the stage where you can't make anything happen and you're trying so hard and you can't figure out, why won't anything happen? Am I broken? We are frequently convinced that we are thoroughly healed before we are. If things have taken longer than you want them to, it is because something has been slowing your journey and keeping you in that between worlds. Again, this is the launch time, and that happy card is saying that this is a very good, transformational energy, and not in the typical, caterpillar to butterfly way, but kind of in this particular card. I'm sure almost everybody's seen The Wizard of Oz, where it switches from black and white to color. And this is essentially what that depicts. And honest to goodness, the energy so far with hedonism, a couple of other things, watch out for that deceit card, including the lies that we accidentally tell ourselves sometimes. What that is saying is that your life will begin to feel more vibrant and vivid again. And then there's this back and forth energy with the mediator card. Let's get your spread down and see what's going on here. What do I have for group number 1 for August 2022? Group number 1, August 2022. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. Took the dogs to the botanic garden today, and Oscar got to snuggle a bunch of people. So I've got snoring dogs all over the place. If you hear anything in the background, it's just Oscar blissfully sawing logs. I have the Wheel of Fortune in reverse. Remember, the Wheel of Fate is turning. The Wheel of Fortune in reverse is not necessarily bad luck. It can be the start of a new cycle. This is the querence energy, the energy you're living in. There is one wandering around the background there. There's a starting over energy that I actually kind of like, with the Ace of Pentacles in the upright, which is success. It's the Seat of the Gods card. It is the Gift from the Gods card as well. The Pentacles, of course, are about 3D manifestations. One of the things you're already being told is that particularly if prosperity has been a little bit of a challenge for you, lean in on kind of guiding that energy. What do we have over here? Nourishment as well, which is a card, and multiple cards of self-indulgence. Remember, don't treat yourself appropriately. The world is a very uncertain place. Don't always plan for someday. Act appropriately in the here and now to increase your joy in your existence, and that energy carries forward. We live in the energy that we create, and like energy attracts like energy. If you want to have more to celebrate, sometimes just stop and celebrate. I have the Hermit in reverse. Woo, coming out of a healing cycle. Yay. I have the 4 Cups in reverse. That can be an underlying issues card, or it's one of the cards, by the way, for haunting, for my fellow readers. If you're trying to figure out what's going on in somebody's life and you get this one in reverse with the 6 of Swords, sure sign there's an earthbound spirit there. But this is in the recent past with something coming in the background. Again, it is that surprise element, that gift in the background as well. I have the Six of Cups in reverse, difficult relationships from the past or to the past. It's a card for nostalgia. Remember, the past can be kind of, you can learn lessons from it. You can have wonderful memories from it. You can go back and kind of extract the parts of yourself that you liked the most as well and bring them into the here and the now. But the past is memory. The present is all we truly have, but we are always manifesting our future. When people talk about the future being imagination, that's when manifestation starts, is in your ability to kind of visualize that which you want. With the Eight of Wands in the upright, okay, that looks like maybe somebody from the past returning. Maybe somebody from the past returning. With the Queen of Swords in the upright, that's Gemini, Libra, or Aquarius energy. It doesn't have to be, though. This is somebody who cuts through the BS, who sees the truth, who wields that sword of justice as well. I'm attached to the spirit of air, the advanced spirit of communication, also called the Archangel Gabriel in the Christian belief system. It's the energy of justice as well, and the energy of judgment. The Queen of Swords also has a good flowing energy in communicating through written word, through creation online. You've got multiple success cards already, and this is a card for communication. The Eight of Wands can be travel, it can be falling in love, it can be travel, particularly over water. It can be moving as well. But this is kind of saying that there is going to be a creative energy flowing through you. One of the ways your guides are going to be communicating with you is through that inspiration. I always like the Queen of Swords. For me, it often means something like having to do some writing. It's like I do minor amounts, and I post them, minor amounts of contributions to media outlets, articles when I'm asked to. And for me, when I get this, it means I'm going to have some kind of opportunity come through on that. I have the Fool in reverse. With that Deceit card, be a little careful. This is a look before you leap energy sometimes. I've always loved the Fool's energy. It can be starting again when you're older and wiser, having learned more energies, but it can be being foolish. It's the external influence. We're going to find out what that has to do with this person from the past. Nine of Cups in the upright is a manifestation energy in the hopes and fears. It's a card of fulfillment. The nines being close to a complete cycle. Remember, the Lionsgate portal has the infinite and energy of the infinity sign, which is perpetual motion. It's part of the reason that when you harnessed it for manifestation, it amplifies it. The nines are about individual power, individuality, standing on your own. And it comes out with the Temperance card in reverse. Be a little careful on that. That's a warning around your physical health as well. Making sure you work appropriately, rest appropriately. It can be a card for partying, quite frankly. And it comes out with the Lovers in the upright. Well, this is the Gemini card, and this is air sign energy. The Lovers can be a soulmate card. It can also be a card of choices. Remember, Lionsgate is also one of the best energies for love. I'm going to find out what's going on there with the Emperor in the upright. Careful, careful. That is the Aries card. And why do I say careful around the Emperor? The Emperor is called upon to have the wisdom of Solomon. This is one of the cards for the wisdom of Solomon. It can also be like acting in a very domineering fashion. In reverse, if you've watched me for any length of time, you know it's one of my least favorite cards because it can be a sociopath, it can be an emotional abuser, it can be just flat out abuser. It can be an abuse of power. This one is in the upright, but you've got the Temperance card in reverse with the Lovers in the upright, which is card of choices. Be careful with your choices to yield the best result. And you've got something around a communication where kind of biding your time on it, really considering it and weighing things out as the mediator is being advised. I have the Page of Wands in reverse. Two cards to be careful of flying off the handle. Four of Wands in the upright. One of the 1111 cards. It is also a twin flame card. It's also a card for new homes. I love it because it's celebrations and contentment, and the fours are all about stability. Page of Wands in reverse, though. Ooh, Six of Swords in the upright. Leaving a difficult situation behind. Can be a traveler's card. It's also a card for rescue. There's something can be put to rest when we see this. It looks like you've got something coming up within the month of August that you will have to make good choices around how you react to it. It's like a little bit of a test, We're always being tested in our healing journey around how well are you doing in the, responding, not reacting. And why is that so important, particularly for trauma survivors? Because when you are able to kind of notice the feeling without reacting to it, recognize it, understand its origin point, again, that is mastering your power. And since I work with so many people who have incredible amounts of power, learning how to have an emotion without reacting to it, having a feeling without reacting to it. Couple of cautions around that. This is one of the Page of Wands in reverse is one of the cards for being triggered. It's like somebody from the past. You're going to have to actively choose to, I think, kind of mine through the wisdom that you have accumulated over the last couple of years about who you are in this world and who you wish to be. With the communication, be careful on work. There's a lot around that on work. There's a lot of cooler heads will prevail. That's the energy of the Queen of Swords as well. 2 of Cups in the upright. Well, we got a lot about relationships here. 3 of Cups in reverse, isolation. 7 of Swords in reverse, which is a clarity card. Queen of Pentacles, Capricorn, Virgo, Taurus. But I love the Queen of Pentacles because the Queen of Pentacles is, and by the way, I represent as the Queen of Wands just always. I don't, mostly because I do magic. The Queen of Pentacles is the Earth Mother card, the woman who can, it doesn't have to be a woman, it's not gender specific, someone who can handle hearth and home and business. This is somebody who just I'm always saying that's the person you want around in an emergency, because that person knows how to slap on a tourniquet, call 911, and make sure someone's dog's sitting while you go to the hospital. This is somebody who can just handle it all. Ace of Wands in reverse. Multiple calls to be very grounded in your approach to somebody who apparently you have a personal relationship with. It may be somebody from the past who's going to be able to honk you off, and you're going to have to choose to balance between your head and your heart. Are we always being tested? Not always. And tests are not things you can fail. It's about showing you what you still need to learn and improve on. And that's why it's that repeating energy until such time as we've mastered a lesson. You're going to be tested on whether or not you have mastered a lesson about using your power appropriately. With the 7 of Pentacles in reverse. And then I have the High Priestess in the upright. And they're not going to tell you what it is because we rarely get cheat sheets around what our tests are. Oh, God, I wish I did not have allergies. The 7 of Pentacles in reverse is a very, very interesting card to me because sometimes it's failure. But in this instance, it can be not doing anything. And this really is with the Queen of Pentacles choosing to make sure you're grounding a lot particularly through the first couple of weeks of August, particularly in the first week. You have a lot of energy. Oh, I understand what this is. You're going to be experiencing a lot of fluctuation in your personal energy. You may already be. This new moon in particular may have caused an uptick in anxiety and having a little bit of a hair trigger temper. Big energy means big reactions. Big reactions mean big potential. Big potential means lean in on it, manage it correctly, and you get what you want. If you don't, if you react rather than respond, it can cause some things to go, and you don't want that. You don't want that. So make sure that you are grounding, work on your root chakra in particular and your sacral chakra appropriately. Remember, whenever you do a sacral chakra release, you likely will have a couple of hours the next day where you're like, why am I in such a bad mood? It's because you did a sacral chakra release and it's releasing your negative emotions. That which we invest in, which our emotions do that, can be manifested with even that much more strength and that much more power. And so that's one of the reasons to really fine tune your sacral chakra as well, because it has creative energy with it. There's just this call to stir your coals quite a bit, fan your flames, and then control it. There's a lot of call to, you're going to be tested around your control a lot. I love the way this month looks though, because there's good progress in professions. There's good progress in money. There's a personal relationship energy here that says both friendships and potentially romantic relationships will see a progression. And taking it at a measured pace is going to be the thing that gives you the best result. You've got multiple tread thoughtfully, tread carefully energies, particularly if, how long did it take me to say the word codependency this long? Particularly if you're recovering from codependency, which is an emotional injury at a formative stage, it is not a character flaw. Particularly if you're recovering from codependency, when you first embark on relationships again, you have to keep in mind one of the hallmarks of codependency is overinvestment too soon. Take it slowly. If you took a lot of time to rebuild your world and to make it better, don't give it away very easily. Approach it slowly and figure out, how much am I willing to alter my life that I work so hard to build to incorporate this person into it? And usually there is a stage in, you're ultimately healed where you're afraid of relationships. Like in the last 6 months, everybody, I only laugh because it's genuinely funny this time. Everybody who tries to flirt with me, which for somebody who doesn't date, like the universe is like, no, we're going to keep testing you. This person is interested in you and that person is interested in you. Like the last couple of times I literally ran away. Literally, I was like, phew, roadrunner out of there. And when I got home, I had to kind of sort through why I was doing that. And it really is because I had reached a stage in healing where I was like, you know what, I really like my life now. And I worked super, 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 super hard to build it into one that I like. And I was viewing other people as peril. Now, have I launched beyond that stage? Not yet. It's a rare person who kind of interests me. But if I did eventually run across somebody who did, then, I kind of have to keep that in mind, is that living in a fearful energy is not an expansive and a joyful energy. And we get the best results in all areas of our life when we are celebrating this feeling existence, even when it has brought us negative emotions. Let's get some affirmations cards here. I'm not just going to talk all day. I promise. We're moving on to more oracle cards. Affirmations card. What does group number 1 want to mean? What you need to know is as you close out the month, those 2 7s in reverse, as you close out the month, there's a lot in the 3D. Like you may struggle to find some time to do your spiritual practices, your healing practices, whether it's journaling, whatever it is. And is that yet another test? A little bit. Like you're being switched into maintenance mode rather than from critical care. I have action taker. Woo! To carry me forth into life, I want to live. I will focus on my actions. I allow myself to think, to plan, and to pause. However, I will not get stuck in this mindset. To grow and learn, I take external steps to improve my state of being. Don't be afraid of making changes, of going forward, of progressing to the next step. You don't need to doubt your judgment. And if you are, like I said, you do a sacral chakra release and you're like, I am furiously angry. What is wrong with me? Listen to upbeat music. Something funny is always one of the best energy transmitters, one of the best equalizers. That's why I was talking about where it's like when people were this person keeps trying to hurt me, it recruits other people, I think likely pays them on more than one occasion. I was like, well, what's the funniest thing I could do with this? Because I won't do baneful magic. I'm like, but I can make myself laugh. And that's why I did the whole inversion field. It's that kind of thing. It's taking actions on your own behalf. We have spiritual guidance, but ultimately we steer our own life and our free will is part of our power. Communication's there. I need to be careful there as well. Healthy communication is meaningful in all relationships, and I realize that I must express to others how I desire to be communicated with. It's boundaries. I manifest people that will expand my thinking, make me laugh, and bring happiness into my life. All right, humor is such an important part. Oh, playful, yay. Most outgrow certain behaviors from childhood, but I give myself permission to cherish my curiosity and wonder. To find magic in the mundane is a spectacular power. The world is not all black and white, for there is color everywhere I look. Black and white over there, and then moving to color and happy from that particular card. One of the keys to healing is to remember we can all reclaim our core self. when we talk about nature versus nurture, we enter this planet born to be somebody, and then outside influences kind of start shaping us. But that person is always there. You can go back and find that person, and the clues are usually found in what lit you up and connected you to a fanciful universe, which is part of manifestation when you were a child. And one of the ways to do that is to write about your memories from when you were 8 and 9 years old, and not the traumatic stuff, unless you're trying to heal it, but rather the things that you loved and the things that you enjoyed doing, because there's usually clues about what will help you in the here and now. Using Tidra's wonderful deck that warns me every single time I'm going to need some help on something. Link to purchase it in the description box down below. I don't receive anything, and I plug it so hard because it's great for people who do magic. It is done with a hoodoo vernacular and kind of it's not the manner in which I normally express myself, and it sounds a little funny when I'm reading them, but I'm telling you, it's a great deck. It's also square, which I've begun to wish all cards were square because it's so much easier to shuffle. There we go. 1 and 2. I have a couple of decks that are just ginormous, and I can barely ever take them in to see clients. I do let my clients shuffle cards when I'm reading in person, and I always have to, freedom. Freedom. It's like the past will fade away. It's being unencumbered. It is your graduation energy. Oh, they're sorry we're closed. If they were sorry, they wouldn't have done it in the first place. Listen, somebody from the past. And like that ability to light your fuse. And you're going to have to be like, that's a match. That's my fuse. Okay, I'm going to put that match over there. I'm going to put the dynamite over there. And I'm going to carefully consider if I want to light it. Because sometimes it is appropriate to be like, boom, there it is. But most of the time it doesn't serve you. So just make sure that if you're taking definitive action, it is in the service of your highest self and the person you wish to be, because we can all be the person we wish to be through our choices. Blair. Well, apparently, sincerely, it's like somebody comes back trying the same old act. There's two different things there. There's one positive and one negative. 1 in a million, swapping you is like trading sugar for you know what. And then hell no. It's like you get a second chance on having power within a situation that made you feel powerless. Let's get I call this deck so many different names. I call it the brace yourself deck sometimes. I'm the, oh God, what is it now deck. We have self-esteem just flipped. And why? Because it's just got a lot of stuff to confront. It really cuts to the bone on issues. And I take draws every single day. They usually tell me about my clients versus me. I don't get to know a lot about my life. It would give me way too much power over the relationships that I do have. So even the readings I get are pretty darn vague because I manifest things too easily. And it is actually a misuse of power to try and control others with it. I have self-esteem, change, pride. Well, that's a good one. Peace was flipped, and I was about to put the deck aside. These are all pretty, even though I'm usually like, oh Lord, what's it going to do now? Self-esteem, change, pride, and peace. It's like you get to, there's something where you felt very diminished, and it's like you get to reclaim a part of yourself. We did not do these fortune reading cards yet. I will do a fortune reading card as well. I will do the normal energy cards. And then we'll just keep moving on to the love stuff. Finish this out. Good month. For people asking about jobs, I do have new jobs. For people who are asking about new places to live, I have moving within the first couple of weeks. Be careful. Remember, the Fed's still raising interest rates, which means the real estate market will soften. Never let me make your decisions for you, she says with a legal disclaimer. But it's not the best time to buy if you're buying at a high rate. Quite simply because the part of the reason that the Fed is raising interest rate over and over is to try and control inflation, to slow an overinflated market. The dragon, strength and wisdom. The strength card is the Leo card. Strength and wisdom, that's that balancing act again. It really is as if The energy surrounding you past the 8th is all about flexing the muscles that you took the time to build. But there will be challenges in that. There will be challenges in that. Oh, okay. The hand of fate forces me under control, intervene, and then the gate. A barrier keeps you from your goal. The seer, follow your intuition. What are barriers if not boundaries? It's not necessarily something in your path. I have nothing in your path any longer, except for an impulsivity that you're being asked to learn how to control within the month of August. Yay. Let's get going with one of these, or 2 or 3, or however many I feel like taking, because I change my mind every 5 seconds. Here we go, 1 and 2. All right, you. Currently 3 won out. So 3 shall be. Wish, manifestation energy. Your heart's desire is ready to come true. Plane, a journey is indicated. We have, this is air travel quite frequently as well. Either physically or metaphorically, your life will become more full. Ooh, okay, what do we have? We have challenges. Thorns, weathering the challenges ahead will bring a new and positive future. Every time we get a test, every time we get a challenge, and it can feel like, would you just leave me alone already? I'm just working and working and working here. It's not to break you, it's to help get this stage of your life over with. And will you always just be constantly tested? No, no, you will not. Let's move on to the Island Wellness cards that have been renamed the Love Oracle if you're searching for them in various bookstores and online. I can understand why. It wasn't going to be the easiest thing for people to search for, but it's a really good card for, it's very good for just standalone readings on love, but it's great for clarifying readings as well. Engagement ring, engagement, partnership, commitment, eternity, completion, and union. For me, that comes through on days that like I'm going to have a bunch of bookings as well. It can just be commitments, but it can be your love life kind of taking a shape that it hasn't. It like evolving, ascending to the next staircase. I have mirroring each other, self-image, relationships reflect our wounds, introspection, separation, sadness, missing you, thinking about you, yearning, unsure of the future. With coffee cup, meeting and conversing, savoring the moment, feeling uplifted, friendship. I'm not going to take this one. It's heartbroken. It doesn't match anything else here. But what I kind of do have is, and I've got that twin flame card as well with a 2 of cups over here and communication. For those of you who have been in separation from someone who are thinking about a twin flame, there may be some resolution on that. Let's get your messages of love, a romance angel, then we're going to go to the angel answers, the 50 cards, and close this sucker out. Here we go. 1, 2. What do we have? What do we have for group number 1? 1 and 2 and 3. Funny flow on this. Funny haha, or like funny choppy. Warning, that's why. Don't dismiss the red flags here. Passion, try something new you've never done before. Hey, that warning and don't dismiss the red flags, like maybe 20 minutes ago, I lose all sense of time. I was talking about how you need to proceed with cautions if you have had relationships that laid you low and left you with something to heal. Don't rush in. Take it slowly. Be gentle with yourself. It doesn't mean that you're like, it will lack passion. It won't. It means that you are respecting the work that you put so much time in order to get the very best results you can. Unavailable. This person is unable to give you all you deserve. Forgiveness and longing. Release. Radical acceptance and surrender can help you let go. I'm not getting the sense you're supposed to release a relationship, but there's something going on there where see whoever is returning or like coming towards you, whether it's a new person or the return of someone that you knew that maybe you've hoped for, see them as you are now and really assess where they are as well. They may not be ready yet. Remember, particularly in twin flame situation, one person leads the way and the other person feels the energy, and so one always lags behind. And always, always, always in twin flame situations, The answer is to let go, because your twin flame is your twin flame. You letting go just allows you to heal wholly within and become your most powerful self and be in union and in true alignment with your divine self. It is the best and the quickest way to bring about the resolution that you're so hoping for in a twin flame situation, but you cannot let go to bring about union. Let go in order to be the super version of you, because the way we end up with our twin flame is when you have achieved the best version of you that you can be within this particular lifetime. We're going to get the angel answers and the cookie cards, and I got 2 this month because I felt like it. It's just that complicated. Improving health. You're almost entirely in like their stages in healing, and like look at it like taking degrees. Like you get your bachelor's, you get your master's, you get your doctorate. You're into your doctoral studies now. I have communication, we saw that as well, and health. An excellent time to start an exercise program or diet. Many new friendships are on the horizon. Communication is a reunion, could bring or a love or a rekindling of friendships. A lucky win seems likely. Route number 1, that's a couple of cards around. Is somebody coming on back? Maybe. Is it going to be a little bit, could it also be something very similar? Because that's what happens, like matching energy signatures come to us over and over again. That is the repeat it until you repair it scenario. And you had multiple warnings on don't dismiss red flags. Your heart's desire can change when your heart heals. Just something to keep in mind. We're moving on to pile number 2. Remember, our timestamps will be edited in after the broadcast. My allergies are in high gear today. I apologize. All right, let's get your cookie cards and your angel card over here. If you're tuning in after the broadcast, I had a couple of things to say about the help I asked for last month. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Went well. Explanation at the very beginning of this. I'm moving on. What do we have here? We have the In-Between Tarot, which I absolutely adore. I really like it because it has very non-traditional imagery on it, and it fits exactly what the purpose is, that straddling between the one card and another, which is the energy of transition. Talking about the Lionsgate portal at the top of the broadcast as well. Excellent time for manifesting. Your personal power is at kind of an apex. Remember, not only is the Strength card, the 8 has the infinity sign over the woman's head as she cradles, usually a lion. The Magician also has the infinity symbol as well. It's a great time for manifestation. Let's get going with your archetype cards. Pioneer. Passion for doing and creating that which has not been done before. Shadow attribute is compulsive need to keep moving on. I know that I struggle with compulsive energies all the time. It's a form, I have a form of OCD that is related to having CPTSD. CPTSD is a form of post-traumatic stress disorder that is formed when you were exposed to a violent, a dangerous, or a traumatic situation for 10 or more years. And so that usually means if you had one of those childhoods, which is what I was going into, I had one of those childhoods, as many people here did. And remember, it's never a contest, because I've occasionally had some people say, well, it was nothing compared to yours. It's like, no, it was everything to you. The only reason I ever go into how much happened to me is to like help people understand it does not need to define your life, and you can heal from whatever you decide you're going to. Even if it's like a list that makes a therapist go, oh, you can still do it. But it's never a case of what happened to me didn't matter, because it's, I wasn't kept in a pit and starved and had snakes dropped on me, which, by the way, many years ago, I met somebody who had written a book about just a horrific experience in which that was part of her life. And it caused just incredible amounts of problems, as it would. But that doesn't mean that everything that happens to somebody else that is not as pitched in horror doesn't leave behind wounds and things that are like needing to be healed. It's not a contest. Your personal experience went into shaping you. And it's a very personal journey. Never compare yourself to others in any walk of life, including trauma. I have Femme Fatale, highlights the erotic energy of the feminine, opens your heart when dependency is rejected. Again, dependency, healing from codependency, which is a trauma response as well. I've been going into how I have compulsive tendencies around, like, I will do things over and over again, including, like, eating the same things over and over again. And one of the things that I had to do with healing is to make an effort to have a varied existence, because a varied existence open and energetic doors. Those patterns that trauma survivors seek don't actually keep them safe. They don't keep us safe. They actually kind of wear an energetic groove into the universe. And one of the ways to help change things is to change your patterns and routines. Do not be rigid. Don't get set in your ways. Your ways are holding you back. And then the shadow attribute of the femme fatale is inappropriate use of sensuality, attachment to money, and power. A lot of the times, trauma survivors are very attached to the need to provide for their physical safety, because, again, they think there is something that will make them feel safe. And one of the stages in healing is understanding that you are what makes you safe, that you have to have belief in your own ability to meet your own challenges, and whatever comes down the pike, you believe that something is on your side. Your divine self will guide you towards your answers and towards your ability to expand the world in the ways that you need to. There is no sum of money that will make you feel healed. Only healing will make you feel healed. All right, your birds are superb fairy wren. Infidelity is in the air. Remember, that's a betrayal card. Group number 1 had a deceit card as well, with let go of the old. Once you've learned the lessons, try to release even the trauma of the past. Part of the reason that I can talk very freely about, like, the yikes childhood that I have, is that the yikes childhood does not have any power over me in the here and now any longer. Now, a very bad marriage in which the person was exploiting that damage, was triggering me on purpose, quite frankly. So to dig it up and to keep the wound unhealed perpetuated it. But I went ahead and healed it after that. And I can let go of it. It genuinely, every ding or dent or crack or fissure that it caused in my life is something that I have been able to repair. Once you have reached that stage, allow yourself to let go of that definition of yourself. You can still talk about it, because sometimes it can help instruct other people. That pioneer's energy, remember, once you've healed something, you have knowledge about how to help others. And we are in a time that has been traumatizing everybody. If you are somebody who has worked through your whole life as a trauma survivor, the leg up that you have on everybody else in the world is that you have always been working with overcoming trauma. You have always had to persevere. That's why trauma survivors are actually the strongest people you will ever meet. Even if they struggle behind the scenes, even if things are difficult for them, if you have a life that is the semblance of functional, give yourself a giant pat on the back. You have to be so strong because you've been working without a pillar in your foundation that is self-esteem, which self-esteem is one of the things that makes us believe in our safety. Everything you've done, you did while being afraid. It's not weakness. That's insane amounts of strength if you've gotten anything done. All right, I have surrender, 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 surrender. Let go of the hold. What? Surrender, surrender, and all will come to you. And what does surrender mean? It does not mean giving up. It means giving it to. Surrender means I believe something works on my behalf. I believe that if I listen to my guidance, if I follow my heart and my passions and my drive and try to look for my purpose, I surrender to the idea that the divine works on my behalf and all that comes to me has something for me in it. And that we do contribute to everything that happens to us sometimes, if you're me, by clinging to things that I knew I should have let go of. Let go of the things that do not serve you, and your healing will go so much more quickly. Be yourself with Pioneer. You are who you are for a reason. Absolutely everything about you can serve something else in your life on your path. Then I have Mystic Healer. Healing energy flows through you. I have a collection of healers. Healers can also manifest because healers can transmute energy. At the base of every form of magic is a form of energy transmutation in which you massage the energy into the shapes, into the forms to have the impact that you want it to. That's why healers make the very best magicians. But the form of magic that I practice, celestial and angelic magic, is the form of basically the magic of miracles. It's also exclusively available to healers because it cannot be used for baneful purposes, and neither can healing. All right, let's get going. Time for a nap. Rest appropriately. Co-create. Co-create is part of the surrender energy. You are in co-creation with the universe. The divine is on your side. Your spirit guides are on your side. And even if you've had times where it's like, y'all must hate me. Why won't you do anything for me? You're my enemies. You suck. They're always working with our choices, not the other way around. As I'm always saying, sometimes they're up there going, turn right. Oh, God, they turn left. Okay, what are we going to do now? And they have to work with what we do. And they try to bring us the very best outcomes available to us through our choices. And then I have movement. Lot of swift energy surrounding, again, the Lionsgate portal, which gains great momentum in every area of your life. It is a time of big happenings and big doings. Let's get the in-between tarot going for a message about what is coming up in August. What's coming up in August for group number 2, please? What's coming up in August for group number 2? What's coming up in August for group number 2, please? 1 and 2. Let somebody flip. August, August, August. 1, 2, 3. I'm clearly one of the goofier human beings on the face of the earth. Right. One of the best healing energies that we can have, because it is invigorating in every positive sense, is being silly, being playful, being happy, and being funny. And having a good sense of humor about our entire journey. 2 of Pentacles in reverse, which is often a card of the need to be held accountable or holding somebody accountable. It can also be being out of balance. And you had a card over here that was talking about resting appropriately, and I can't find it right now. With infidelity in the air, that's a holding somebody accountable. Time for a nap was the one that's telling you to listen. If there's a lull in things that you're doing, lean into it, love it, enjoy it, surrender, and know that you're never going to be left hanging if you're really trying to work with your purpose. It can feel that way though sometimes. 10 of Wands. That compulsive energy is really one to look out for. And I am as guilty of this as anybody can ever be. I can overwork myself if there's enough demand. And whenever there is, I have to really, really force myself to not lean in too hard, because what I'm always seeking that safety and that security. And in fact, because of some spell work that I'm doing next week, I took an extra day off because I will need to rest and recharge. And the amount of time it took me to talk myself into that was amusing. Whereas if it was my client, I'd be like, what are you doing? Take good care of yourself, and know that it was the right answer. Healers do that all the time. Healers will give better advice than they follow sometimes. We have the King of Cups in the upright. That is the water sign energy of Scorpio, Pisces, or Cancer. Pardon me, my allergies. It's also the card of emotional fulfillment and emotional maturation. It's also one of the cards for the divine. I'm going to see where you're going with this. Page of Cups in reverse. Surprises, apologies. Knight of Pentacles in the upright. Slow, steady progress. Learning new lessons. The Knights carry things forward with the 6 of Cups in the upright. That's sometimes memories from childhood, sometimes generosity and gifts. It's my favorite soulmate card. It always has been because of past life relationship. It's also unconditional love. It comes out with the 5 of Wands in reverse. It's a surrender energy. It's a peaceful energy. The Hanged Man in the upright. This can be a card of sacrifice, or it can be a card of new, fresh perspectives. It can be a card of being in stasis. It's also a card that you will get occasionally for that hosted by their own petard thing, where somebody is held accountable for something. We have one of the indications on that. 5 of Swords in the hopes and fears, which is a conflict card. And the Strength card in the upright, which is perfect. Strength card, of course, is the Leo card. It is the Lionsgate portal energy. This is beautiful. This is one of the more beautiful depictions on it. In fact, has a crescent moon in it. In fact, the moon should be essentially almost in that position, a little bit fuller than that, as the Lionsgate portal comes in. Is a great time to try and transition to timelines of like your best optimal timelines. And is that all like bunk? No, it's not. Every time you make a choice, we're like I said, I'm a crossroads guide. Most healers are crossroads guides. Most of the people in my collective are a form of crossroads guide as well. we always have a choice to take us into a different, and the choice will then result in a different timeline. And the idea of your optimal timeline is making the choices that best serve your purpose here on this earth. And everybody knows who watches me ever, like more than once, knows that I have a slight, I'm at loggerheads with the idea that the law of attraction, where you like wish to fulfill your universe, and there's a belief that we're here just to learn how to manage energy. That's the initiate stage of a form of magic. And that's, again, it's not lesser or greater to be in that stage, it's just a different stage. People who are in my collective are in a different stage, are in a purposeful energy in which you already learned that, and then you're learning the nuance of it, that doctorate program I was talking about. And when you're talking about choosing your best timeline, what you want to do is make very good choices around everything that will best serve you. I think I'm going to have to decline call here. No, thank goodness. All right, I have the 2 cups in the upright. With the 8 of Wands in reverse, it's delays. It can be blocking somebody as well, but that's an 8-8 energy. That's one of the twin flame energies as well. I have the Queen of Swords in reverse with the Queen of Cups in the upright. 10 of Swords in reverse. That's one of the cards for being cursed, by the way, for me. That's the 3 of Swords, the 10 of Swords in reverse. It's about, in this, there's some clarity around some past trauma and the ability to kind of like lean in on making sure that you are holding, like I said, there's somebody in your life to hold accountable around a way in which they injured you. Don't let somebody, it's not always the best choice for other people to let them off the hook. Sometimes people, in order to truly step into their own purposeful growing energy, need to understand what they've done to somebody else. I've just had somebody from the past coming back and kind of like, if they're like, hey, I'm sorry I did that, go ahead and enumerate, yeah, because it did this, that, and the other to me. I'm okay, but that sucked. It's not about not being forgiving. It's that an ego death is about really confronting who we really are. And sometimes the damage that we have done to others, maybe blindly or without meaning to, is something that we need to confront. One of the things I've always talked about in my past is that, I probably came a hair's breadth from being just a horrific partner for my whole life, because I grew up around terrible things, and I had to pursue learning to do better. But if I just repeated what I had seen, and I might have, and my first relationships, I'm not proud of myself on any of that. I had to learn how to be a fair and open communicator. I had to learn how to control my temper. I had to learn how to do every healthy thing. And it was all a choice throughout. No matter what you came from, no matter what your origin story, you can choose your own ending. And we change and grow as much as we want to. And for this individual that we're seeing here, it's not beating up on somebody to be honest with them about how they let you down, because the 2 Pentacles in reverse can be letting somebody down. How somebody let you down had an impact on your life. It's not being punishing, to be honest. I have the Knight of Cups in the upright. Yeah, there's something going on with a relationship here. The Empress in reverse. The Wheel of Fortune in the upright. The Wheel of Fate turns. Sometimes it's about letting something go so something new can come on. Release to receive. But it's an upturn in your fortunes as well. With the Emperor in the upright, the Aries card of personal power. The Death card in the upright, new beginnings, transformation, transition. It's also the Scorpio card. Scorpio energy is particularly I'm going to say enhanced by the Lionsgate portal. It's a very intense energy. That's a very intense energy side by side with the Emperor and the Death card. And then that comes out with the Devil in reverse, which is releasing relationships to people, places, or things that do not serve you. What have we got in terms of the progress of the things start happening early in the month here? How's the work energy off the top? Good. Lulls that you are supposed to be taking advantage of. People from the past absolutely returning. I've already exhaustively gone into the need to hold people accountable, for their own good and for your healing, and to value yourself. There is some kind of romantic development for people who are looking for it. And there is a nail in the coffin energy around a feeling of powerlessness in your life from a past relationship. That holding somebody accountable energy, it's like it has multiple levels on it. One of the things you can do with the Lionsgate portal is to ask for true justice to be served, and true justice. And that's not about, remember, revenge is not justice. Revenge is not justice. But as for instance, if you have a grave concern that somebody who mistreated you will go forward and do the exact same thing to somebody who might not survive it, you can ask for justice. It's just that you're not the person who metes it out. You simply ask your guides, your guardians, and remember, angels are not human. They have never been human. They will never be human. Your guides frequently have been. If you ask your angels to intervene on your behalf and do something, they get things done. There's a, and I'm forgetting his name, but he was talking about how angels are essentially sociopaths because they lack empathy. Angels work for the side of good, so they are not sociopaths, but they don't really get human emotions. If you are appealing for help to your angels, remember, they get things done. Absolutely. And it can cause a wave. There's a wave energy around some power sweeping through to clear your decks and to give you back some power that you thought you had lost. Let's go with the affirmation stuff. What else do I have here? 1 and 2 and 3. Strange energy around not gathering a great deal, but like there's this, for good reasons. There's a, like I said, there's a lull around work. It's not a bad thing. Take advantage of it. Take advantage of it. Really lean into enjoying your life. Beauty. Seeking approval or gazes from others is not important. I seek to define myself in full and not just by my appearance. My beauty is most prominent when I'm living a carefree and happy life, unconcerned with others' approval. Boy, is that ever the key to living a happy life. Don't care what other people think about you. Sincerely, particularly like, I was bullied as a child because, like, let's face it, I'm a little weird. But like everything that I like about me is related to how I'm not like other people sometimes. Don't care. Those people don't have power over you unless you give it to them. What other people do is about what's going on within them. And if somebody's picked on you in, at different points in your life, it's not because you're doing something wrong. It's because they don't feel, you make them uncomfortable. And sometimes like that holding somebody accountable energy, we are overly wedded to doing things in a particular way. In particular, in our social interactions, we have normalized lying to each other. How in the world can relationships ever work out? Oh, well, yeah, we'll get together. And people are like, oh, they don't mean it. When foreigners come to the United States, it's always like they don't, how insincere many of our interactions are in our social culture is a shock to them. And then we wonder why relationships don't work out when we have normalized not telling each other the truth in day-to-day life. Be a truth teller in your life and in others, you'll have better results. And do it kindly, just do it kindly. Dreamer, even during times that discourage me from carrying on, I will continue to follow my dreams no matter how difficult. Through road bumps, though road bumps will set me back, I have determined that giving up is not an option. I will never abandon my dreams. And then the vessel, my talents, skills, hobbies, relationships, passions, and strengths are the things that define me. My body is the vessel that contains these wonderful attributes, and to that I am grateful. Please try to take good care of you. Just try, like there's this energy of there are multiple opportunities to take breaks, please take them. And then that whole thing I was just talking about where if you've always been a little bit different, remember that is actually your special gift. Particularly if you're not a neurotypical person. Now, I actually am neurotypical, but if you're not a neurotypical person, remember there are things that you can do that people who are neurotypical can't. That is a gift. And if it's always been an abrasive element within your life, remember when we can do something, we take it for granted and we think it's commonplace, and it's not. Whoever you are, whatever you're good at, whatever has been a pronounced energy within your life, it's there for a reason. Learn how to turn it in a positive direction. And there's this energy of co-creation and surrender. And then this time, this lag time as well. Something comes in early in August, and by the end of August, you're busy again, and you won't be not busy again for a very long time. And so the lull that is showing up past the Lion's Gate that might be a little bit like, it's a dead zone, oh my gosh, everything's done. It's not, it's a pause to reflect and pause to recharge. The black cat, your luck will soon change. The spirit, unseen forces watch over you. Winds of change, your surroundings will undergo a transition. And then the stars, a long journey brings rewards. Don't stay in perpetual motion. Things cannot take root and grow if you are constantly moving. Let's get from Teacher's Deck. I'm always going to plug it. Don't get anything from it when I do. It's helped me a lot. I take daily draws. Often it will give me very helpful information for my clients. Woo! Hypocrite, block partnership, divine anger. That person from the past returning apparently has a thing. Something about holding people accountable as well with romance. This is going to be individual for everybody. Don't gloss over things, even if you're just happy to see somebody. There's still something to the Six of Cups energy. There's just something going on there. And it's not going to be for everybody if you're not interested, or if you're paired up, or and if you're at a stage in healing where you're spending some time alone to heal yourself, know that it's not necessarily developing into a romance, but there's like a staircase to continue ascending. But if we've got like this returning energy over here, we have loneliness. Remember that you're never alone. Don't leap at the chance of something. Like I said, somebody might need to realize what they need to be held accountable for to continue on their healing journey. It's going to be different for everybody, but that energy just is a little bit of an echo throughout this repeating. Acceptance. I am learning to accept the things that I cannot change. Grief. I understand that losing something is an opportunity to appreciate it. And then balance. I bring a state of perfect harmony into my world, and I do so without judgment. Grief is one of the things that we hesitate to process. A lot of the times it is grieving for the lives that we did not get to leave, particularly if trauma was holding you back. It's not, don't fear negative emotions, particularly if they're very intense when you're having them. It's likely because you've repressed them for too long. One of the things I told group number one is lots and lots of chakra work can help with that. Sacral chakras and then heart chakra work can also help you release grief. And like one of the things I don't think I've ever shared is that my see, that's trauma's a response laugh. My father, who I had grown up with not with my mom, he died very, very suddenly right before my 16th birthday, and very, very dramatically. And I never got to feel any grief because, like, all the trauma that I'd had in my life, I was like a numb little soldier of a person. And consequently, I had never, ever felt grief. Not really. And one of the things that I had to do over the last 3 years was feel all of the grief that I'd repressed. Like I could have bought stock and tissues and like made a fortune because there was weeping untold in the first year and a half. And now it's gone. Now it's gone, and I have the appropriate level of emotions, and that's what processing the old energies can do. Don't fear intensity of emotion. Your guides can help carry it away, and it is to help almost clean out a wound. Fool, have the courage to embrace change, takes risks, be adventurous. Mountain, know that you are protected as you face challenges, but remain cautious. With Chariot, charge ahead with confidence, stay strong and focused. You are protected as you face challenges. Like I said, don't leap at something just because it's been something you've been hoping for. Don't take a step back. Don't take a step backward. All that work was for something. And that movement energy. Fits and spurts define this month for you in terms of work life. In the lulls, make sure that you are doing things that help you enjoy your life. Don't just like worry. Try to free yourself from worry. If you really are surrendered, you believe that the divine is helping to guide you on a purposeful journey, and it only lays us low for long enough to learn the lessons that we need to. And sometimes we need to learn lessons that are about deprivation in order so that we can truly appreciate that which we have, and that when more comes to us, we don't ever take it for granted. There's a hidden surprise. There's a crackerjack surprise in almost every experience that we have. New love, second chance. That's what we've been talking about. Strictly sexual. And then acceptance. That's going to be very, 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 if something's only appropriate for friends with benefits because of healing work that somebody else has to do, accept that as the best form it should take at this particular time. Do I really, pardon my allergies, have a reason to believe that? There's something here. Lots about holding somebody accountable. Lots about chances to expand in an area, and many like don't leap at something, be circumspect, hold yourself back. And not like because you don't get to have a full life, but because you want to experience the life that you worked so hard to have in full. Let's get your energy cards, and we'll move on to the romance cards that are remaining, and then we will be done, and I will move on to pile number 3. And hopefully who's ever calling me obsessively will stop. Here we go. 1 and 2 and 3. I'm grateful that for whatever reason, some setting on my computer changed. Hi guys, hi Jackie. And my whole computer doesn't ring any longer. Adjacent possibilities, anxiety. 7th chakra, Archangel Uriel, 2nd chakra, Archangel Ariel, and the thinking man. Boy, is that ever the energy of the energy cards piecing out on making sure that your tests are something you navigate without a spoiler sheet. You're getting something there, and the fewer and fewer details we get, remember that is one of the things that shows you that you're more and more healed. The more healed you are, the less specificity there will be in the answers that you are given, because they're asking you to trust on your own abilities. Does that mean that you'll never get like an in-depth tarot reading? No, that is not what that means. Date. It means that ultimately your connection to the divine is yours, and it will guide you. And you don't necessarily need somebody like me every month. We have date, meeting someone new, dating, getting back out there, plans, set a date. Often endings bring new beginnings, growth, change, liberation, transition. I'm intrigued. This is going to be a different answer for everybody. Mirroring each other, self-image, relationships reflect our wounds, and introspection. When you're healed, the type of relationship that comes to you doesn't damage you. And when you're healed, you won't accept relationships that might be damaging. If somebody lies to you from jump, that is telling you that they're not ready to have an honest relationship. And like, there's no way to identify this person, so I'm just going to go ahead and use the example. I read for someone who talked about someone they dearly, dearly loved, but in their profile, they had lied and said that they weren't a smoker, and they were. And this person would never have gone out with that other person had they known. And they had it's their story. I'm not going to tell it, but they let that slide. And was it a terrible relationship? No, but it wasn't a permanent one. And that's a red flag. That's a red flag. It means somebody still has their own work to do when they cannot be their authentic self. And it's not that somebody couldn't smoke when they're their authentic self, although ideally, when we are really in a healed condition, we don't damage ourselves. But needing to present themselves as somebody that they aren't, red flag. I have clock. Needs time, takes time, in time cycles, time to heal, and progress with camera, reminiscing, keepsake, perception, learn from the past and make memories. There is a test around your ability to choose healthy things for you, and you deserve healthy things. Am I going to take a romance angel? Let's go ahead and take a romance angel, although I did slightly hear what it's going to say. What is the romance angel, please, for group number 2? Then we will get your angel answer cards, and I think we will be done and move on to pile number 3. Interesting month. lots of very intense energy and temptation for you. There's some kind of temptation for you. It looks like you do really well with it. Don't forget, when you've weathered something and you feel good about yourself, part of self-love is being proud of you, of the progress that you've made. Chemistry, it's strictly sexual as well. There's a strong magnetic attraction here, and you deserve love. You are lovable. Make sure that the love you're being offered is truly the love that you deserve. And let's go. I think we're done with that pile, except for the angel answers card. The premise behind this is if there's a question that I did not answer, hopefully this card will help you with it. Remain positive. Remain positive in this time period simply because it's a time of very strong manifesting energies as well. Like energy will attract like energy. And regardless of what 2022 has been like for you, because let's face it, 2022, oh my God, who is the event planner, not been a lot of fun sometimes. There are health challenges in the greater world. And like I said, there's a low energy. No matter what is going on, because they do have a conflict card, keep envisioning a better world. Keep envisioning a better world for everybody, and that means you will be part of it. When people only focus on self and what it would be better for them, and they forget that the greater world has a tremendous impact on them as well, they're leaving out a piece of their puzzle. We have society and future. Lots going on in the world that's a little bit weird, and I know I'm making weird faces. It's because there's a bit of a mystery here. But I like when that starts happening for my clients, because it means that they are becoming more and more powerful in their own right. The more specific the guidance and the answers that you receive, the earlier in your journey you are likely to be. And that's not like, early like you're a child. It means that you've got a lot of chaotic energies in the way that things are brought to you. The vaguer and vaguer things become, the more likely it is that your personal power is being turned up and up and up, and that you are almost in complete alignment with yourself, with your highest self. And what happens when you're in complete alignment with your highest self? You can get your divine pairing to come towards you. You can, your true purpose, everything that you need to have the abundant life that you want to manifest more easily. That will look different for everybody. When we hear success, when we hear fortune, we always think money, and that can be part of it. But happiness, joy, love, contentment, resilience, health. There are so many things that go in with success that we disregard because we're so obsessed with dollar signs or money in general. By the way, with the landscape portal, it is one of the energies of transmuting things or transferring things from the spiritual world to the physical world. And so that is one of the reasons to remain positive as well. Do mood management. If you're struggling, do mood management. Watch a comedy, listen to uplifting music, etc., etc. Tabletops are going out. It's one of the months I'm remembering them. Timestamps will be edited in after the broadcast. Let me make sure I get the cookie cards out of here. Cookie card, angel answer card over here. Who's bringing you the predictive spread? Oh, the Tarot of the Night. I love the Tarot of the Night. I use it in some of the close-up readings that I do, and the artwork's very different. It's got these very elongated figures in it, but the colors in the background are they're very emotionally evocative. They're not as vivid, but they leave more intuitive room. And I'm always talking about the decks because, everybody, most people who get into tarot like to get decks eventually and kind of experiment with them themselves. We have love that you are different. That has been a theme as well. You are who you are for a reason. If you're different than other people, what's so great about being like other people? Do they strike you as being happy? Be who you are. We have the Goddess of the Moon energy, which is assessing. All right, sound judgment is being called for already. To the sea, which is taking risks and moving on with the journey. Clean it up to the sea. What are we doing here? It's group number 3. Group number 3, you always have such an interesting emotional journey. Obedience. The only thing you are meant to obey is your highest self and your guidance through the divine. And that's not to say break rules and laws. That's not what that means. It means that living in flow with your highest self and being obedient to your moral compass and who you truly are. and the highest version of yourself will bring you the best outcomes. That's what that means. Be careful. Don't serve false masters. I have Messiah. Light attribute is serving with humanity with humility. And then shadow attribute is exaggerated belief that you are the only means through which a cause can succeed. I talk about how I'm a crossroad guide, but like that means I help people like make a difference in this world. And there are many, many, many crossroads guides. There is no one linchpin to a successful outcome for all of humanity. We are all working together. We are all on the same team. If you're in my collective, you want to see the world become a better place, and you have an active role to play in it. We have exorcist. Well, I do that sometimes, and it's always cracks me up that that's part of my destiny. Because I'm the biggest baby about like horror movies and things. I won't watch them at all. So of course I like slay demons. Light attribute is freeing yourself and others of destructive impulses. Shadow attribute is fear of facing your own demons. We all have a darker side to overcome. When we use the phrase personal demons, and what is a demon? First of all, set aside any religious connotations with it. A demon is an energetic influence, sometimes with a sentient presence behind it, that likely exists in a different dimension and is fueled or feeds on a particular type of energy. Usually something that destroys the life force within this dimension is something that a demon will feed upon. That is the most simplistic definition of what a demon is. We have put all names and all kinds of different things upon it within this reality, but that's essentially what a demon is. Banishing your personal darkness or taking control of it and confronting it. Like I say, I am the codependency queen. Is codependency a character flaw? No, it isn't. But would it destroy my life if I did not try to heal it? Yeah, and it almost did. We have to face what we are struggling with in order to heal it with basically brutal honesty towards who we are and who we wish to be and what the space in between that might be. And that's not about not liking yourself, because remember, it's not about a character flaw. These particular energies, our lesser selves, the demons that can plague us, come from injuries. Trauma is an emotional and an energetic injury. And it comes from sometimes things as simple as not having our needs prioritized when we're small, being neglected, being told that we're unimportant. And so people begin to believe that other people are unimportant. And it is usually the people who are the most callous were raised in the most callous circumstances. They were not treated as if their feelings matter. And so they go forward treating other people as if they aren't. Try to approach everyone with compassion and with the idea that compassion is one of the energies that can transmute and change the world. It doesn't, listen, this is one of my biggest and deepest beliefs is politics is just stupid. It's just, they're stupid, because people who try and seek power are never fit to hold it, because they want power for the sake of power. People who are trying to make the world a better place view power as something that can bring about meaningful and productive and positive change. It's not about being a ruler. It's about having the world take the shape that benefits the most people the most often. That's true power. These little tin despots who sit in capital cities and make rules rarely care very deeply about the energy that they are creating, but rather who gets to make the rules. And throughout the course of our lives, the way we approach each other, we can make the rules about how we treat one another, no matter what those little like power mongers in the capital cities decide we are doing. You can approach the world with kindness, love, and compassion. All right, I have hanging parrot, gain knowledge by surrendering to the universal flow. There's so much knowledge and power available to everybody who is willing to try and connect with divine source. And it does not have anything to do with religion. Religion is a man-made power structure. Does it take real stories and put names to it? Yes, it does, but it's trying to manipulate the energy of faith and the energy of the divine. It has its own agenda. Have your relationship with the divine personally, and you will get better guidance. And set aside the rule-making patriarchal structures that tend to be religions. Not all religions are patriarchal, but in this day and age, most are. Inspire others. You are different for a reason. In the flow, everything is smooth sailing. It's like things want to manifest like crazy around you, but you're being reminded, if you're being asked to deviate from everything you learned, question the validity of the things that you learned. Like I said, most power structures, most of the things that make the rules, they have an agenda about controlling that power. And I'm genuinely, I'm just not a political person, and I don't care very much who anyone ever votes for or what's going on there. The people that make up the world can make the biggest difference in it, in how we interact with one another and what we decide a world will be. Here we go. Let's get going here. Let's get going here. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. What's going on for group number 3, please? Tarot of the Night. Yeah. It's amazing I can get on so many soapboxes from a chair. Here we go. I have the Emperor in reverse, which is in fact an abuse of power. It can be a sociopath as well. It can also be a feeling of feeling powerless, but this is the querent card. This is the energy influencing you. 2 of Wands is a crossroads energy. I have the, what are you? 7 of Wands in reverse. It's a surrender energy. I have the 7 of Pentacles in reverse. I beg your pardon, that's the 8 of Wands in reverse. That's a blocked journey, or a delay on something. Technically, the 8 of Wands is frequently about a delay. Most of the Wands in reverse have a tendency to be just the energy is still there. It's just turned in the wrong direction. 7 of Pentacles in reverse, that could be a failure card. I don't often see it that way. Page of Wands in reverse, multiple like blow in your stack energies right off the bat. The Empress in reverse is an innovative solution. Think outside the box for your best outcomes. In the flow, check in for your guidance. What are we going on? What's going on here? Chariot in reverse. We've got the 8 of Wands in reverse. If you've been planning a trip, there may be something that causes a delay on it or a rescheduling on it. The Chariot in reverse is pulling up short on something. I have the 4 of Cups in the upright. That's underlying issues. It's also called the card and the May card, simply because it can be a card of discontent. But it's always about a figure focusing on being dissatisfied. It's a card of dissatisfaction with the 3 cups that are before it. And in the background, there is always a 4th cup, as if a gift from the gods is coming in, or it can be being haunted as well, as I was telling the first group. It's one of the cards for an earthbound spirit. I don't have anything else to support that right now. 5 of Pentacles in reverse. It's an easing of circumstances being brought in from the pole, the feeling of being King of Wands in reverse. Group number 3. Self-control is going to be an issue. Self-control is going to be an issue. If you're having trouble with that, never be afraid to hit the pause. 8 of Wands in reverse, Chariot in reverse. Don't have a false sense of urgency on making decisions. Like your fire's lit a little bit too brightly, particularly in the first 5 to 7 days. It's because something is intensifying for you in a personal power sense. And your kettle can boil over very easily sometimes. And learning how to appropriately back off from that is apparently one of the things you're still struggling with. I have the 8 of Cups in the upright, going on a journey, spiritual fulfillment. It's leaving the broken things from the past behind as well. There are multiple opportunities around dealing with things that used to hold you back. And it's going to take a goading energy. It's not all negative. Like some of this is excitement. But remember, as things like there's momentum building behind something, and you're being asked to remember, don't get carried away. It does bad things to your overall energetic well-being. Take an appropriate pace on things, and you'll be tempted not to. With the Ace of Wands in the upright, it will yield better results, tons of manifestation energy, lots and lots of fiery energy on this one. With the, who are you? You are the 6 of Pentacles in reverse. That can be giving too much, like something, It can be a loss, but I don't think it is. What is going on here, dudes? I have the Two of Pentacles in reverse, missing peace energy with the Temperance card in the upright. A tendency towards an energetic imbalance is something that you will be able to address multiple times throughout the first couple of weeks of August. Try to take a measured pace on things, and it will be difficult. Particularly, you might be offered more than you can handle. And one of your tests, that's one of your tests in the first couple of weeks. And like the test. Why? Because you're being asked to become the most powerful version of yourself, because you're a very powerful person. And that will be needed going forward over and over and over again as the world continues to develop. The reason you're asked to be the best version of yourself is quite simply everybody in this collective has a lot of personal power behind them. But like usually, like you get so damaged by the predators that will come for that you have to take the steps to heal it to be able to control it. And there's a lot of tests around control here. It looks like you're going to do really well. And the better that you do, you're going to have a lot of inspiration on things. Don't burn the candle at both ends. The measured pace thing just keeps coming out over and over again. And then there's somebody like, there's something that distresses you and can light that ire, can like really, like I said, cause that pot to boil over. Remember, you only have power over that which you can like react with. Do what you can within the space that you can, and know that the opportunity to do more will come to you more. The more and more control you have, the more and more opportunity comes to you. I have the Strength card in reverse, of vulnerability, with the Four of Pentacles in the upright, which is holding on to things, standing on secure ground as well. It can't be the Miser's card, but I don't think it is, with the Four of Swords in the upright. Boy, there's a development in the greater world that really makes you question why you're doing anything. You do not know the full story yet. You do not know the full story yet. You don't. Focus on your world, not the big world. Because we manifest the world that we want. Reality is like this very challenging thing. You interact with the world as you are. And the world around you, like energy attracts like energy. You have more power to affect things when you are taking this very measured approach to things. Even if you've gotten big results from big actions in the past, you're asked to take a different path to get a better result. Three of Pentacles in reverse, personal power. Whew, Six of Swords in the upright, leaving a difficult situation behind, sailing towards smooth waters. It's serenity and tranquility. It can also be a card for, I don't have any reason to, well, there's a couple of journey. I don't have any reason to believe that there's a death here. I just don't. It can be one of the cards for death, but it isn't. Why? Because it's the only, in the traditional Rider Waite, the figures are depicted on the river Styx. For me, it has to be in reverse for it to be the literal death. I have the Five of Wands in the upright. Like I said, there's conflict in the greater world, and it freaks you out a little bit with the Four of Cups in reverse. Are you the Six of Cups? The Six of Cups has been in absolutely everything. I beg your pardon. This is the Six of Cups. Oh, absolutely everyone, every group has had a relationship from the past challenging them, and a relationship to who they were in the past. And is that meaningful and purposeful with the Lionsgate energy? Yes, it is. It is a very strong, energetic time. Momentum builds behind anything that you're trying to manifest. And that's why having control of your personal power, and particularly your temper, is on the table here. Because I got a lot of fiery people, and I am one as well. Like, for real. I'm the thing that took out Pompeii sometimes. Not anymore. I really do. Like, I have that pretty much under control. Nothing makes me angrier than injustice, though. And there's some energy around that. With the Eight of Swords in the upright, which is doubt, not having a path forward. I'm going to take one more on this. With the King of Swords in reverse. This is an interesting energy of personal challenges. Let's talk about work again, though. I just want to get to the practical stuff. There's stuff with friends and more communication with people and more fun, but there are more things that might agitate you than I'm used to seeing in one group. It is because apparently that is like one of the last pieces to fall into place for your ability to manifest everything that you want and have complete control of your personal power. It does involve a figure from the past, and there is somebody in the greater world where continued decisions are made that, just like I said, you're going to have to choose. You're going to have to choose to be like, I am choosing peace. I will do what I can, and I know that I can do a lot. But my anger can become my ability to make an impact if I put it on in a bridle and take control of it and hold on to the reins appropriately. That momentum that can cause you to go can also be the thing that can carry you forward when other people need to stop and rest, if you harness it appropriately. And I've got multiple energies around that, particularly this energy of somebody making you mad enough to burn things down with your brain is going to have to be something that you stop, you consider. Who is it? It is somebody from your past. And it appears to be a personal relationship. Something is going to be put to rest for good if you can view it as the ability to harness your personal power that it really is. It's not a test of like, we're trying to drive you crazy and see how long it takes you to burst into flames. Instead, it is the ability to take that thing that has been a destructive force in your life, a reactive energy, and to harness it into something that becomes a purposeful energy. And it achieves a great deal for you in the month of August. Crickets sound for like the last month of the last week of the month. Rest and recuperate and be kind of like be introspective. Look through your actions, see what you like to do differently. It's not about being self-punishing. It's about learning how to use, because we all have an inner critic and it can be very, very punishing. What we're trying to do is retrain our inner critic to be our biggest cheerleader, but we do need to continue on an evolutionary path that continues growing and growing and making us into the most powerful and the best versions of ourselves that we can be, continue to hold ourselves to a standard. And you can do that kindly without being punishing. You have multiple things that say you will be in the flow, many things will come to you, and when that starts happening, you will feel that kind of inferno of energy that has gotten out of control. There's a little bit of a test around how to make that work for you. And when you do, and it's a lot in the month of August, weird energy around, there's not a lot around money, but there's so much around, it's like, that's not the area of your life you're focusing on. That seems to be all taken care of. In terms of don't sweat that part. Everything else that you're being regret, everything else that you're being asked to evolve with this month is about establishing that energy in a very, very, very material and 3D sense. And this is just one of the areas that you're still struggling a tiny bit with. And you wonder why, like you make the ABC happen of something, but it doesn't see fruition. And that's why, is because like you lose control of your energetic momentum. And it kind of loses focus. We have growth. I want to expand my consciousness and my awareness. That is not a criticism. Oh my God, we're energetic twins on that. Learning how to use your power appropriately for your own means is what's on the table here. Success. There's something around, like the success part is not a worry. There's a creative project that starts taking off. Oh God, that's what it is too. There's a lot of success around something. There's growth in a personal project. You react to it with, it makes you, there is something around, just as your dreams begin to come true, you can get really, really nervous around don't let me blow it, causing things to be blown. And remember that part. Forewarned is forearmed. You're not being told there's anything wrong with you or you're doing anything wrong. You're just being reminded that historically, sometimes agitation has led to anxiety that has led to big things. And if you go into it knowing I'm probably going to be on a hair trigger because things are going well, I will take every meditative practice and balancing exercise to heart, knowing that it is never going to be wasted time if it keeps things from blowing apart at the seams. Okay, we have the minstrel. Let your intentions be known. There's something weirdly upsetting in the exterior world for you. And group number 3 is always the one about, emotions and trauma and flow. And that's why it always has the bigger happenings. You will be drawn to different piles at different times. Medusa, jealousy leads to a downfall. The queen, love and prosperity. We are the architects of our reality. And sometimes the saying I use is that which makes you awesome can also make you suck. And I always mean it about me. The drive and the ability to speak out and be very definitive is also the thing that can have me have me battling with the whole Queen of Wands dark side my whole life, which is oh yeah, I'm fine. Everybody take cover. That's how it can go. Learn to have a more measured pace around having a spark of anger rather than a grenade that goes off has been something that I have finally managed to do. And I'm really quite proud of that progress, but I can't ever take it as a given that it's permanent. I always have to be a little bit I have myself on a leash. There's a little bit of make sure when you leave the house, you got your leash in your back pocket, not because there's anything wrong with you, but because all of that power is fueling something rather than imperiling it. I have moon. Pay attention to your intuition at this time and move ahead confidently. Coffin. 4 swords, 6 of swords. That's putting some to rest energy. Coffin. Natural endings abound. Take care with your health. And then world. Be open to new possibilities in all areas of your life. No, you stay there. How am I going to put this? Yeah. Make sure something really serves you. Make sure something really serves you. The shadow attribute, fear of facing your own demons. Fear of facing your own demons. You might have to turn down something that is not in alignment with who you really are. That multiple brings something to a halt. Remember, if it's very, very similar to something you've been trying to make happen, but it has this one eroding element or corruptive or destructive element in it, say no. It will return to you in a better form. All right, what else am I looking at? Did I already look at you? Did I? Yes, I did. All right. You. And then we'll move on to our energy cards. Something about this is the energy is very close to being out of control on it. And that's kind of the feeling, is that boundless joy and then yes and no. Please try to trust that. It really is there's an offer on the table that it just has this one, well, surely I can overcome that, even though it's corrupt or whatever it might be. If it really, don't say yes for the wrong reasons. And remember, if you say no, it meant it, and it's for a good reason, it comes back to you in the form that you need it to. We do get tempted as we're trying to heal from those lesser energies. Equal parts. Water seeks its own level. Therefore, I attract those who can meet me where I am on my journey. My interpersonal relationships are mirrors into my own self. So I strive to put my best self into the universe so that I shall find others who seek growth. It's like a business relationship in particular has somebody who I kind of don't dig. They're not in it for the right reasons. And that equal parts in water seeking its own level, and this is the water group, is intriguing to me. If you've come this far, that mirror energy too. At the end of the day, to overcome that harsh inner critic, we have to become somebody who we truly admire. And it's like there's a temptation around that. And it's not a big one, but it's, you're going to have trouble turning something down, is what it looks like. Being in flow and trusting that it comes back to you in a better form is, you might have to do that. You might have to do that. There's lots of really good things, but there's this kind of, I almost want to say bait and switch, where it's, they're going to bait you with the thing that, like, maybe in the past you would have been like, oh my God, but it's so much money. Think of everything I could do with that. I'll just, like, you know, turn a blind eye to this thing that I don't believe is right, which is very tempting to do. Try to trust that everything that you're trying to manifest will come to you in a form that won't have that corrupting and degrading influence with it. I know it can be easier said than done. 6th chakra, Archangel Metatron. And this is the part where, like, don't let me make decisions for you. Check in with your guidance team, check in with your heart, your soul, your own conscience, your own guidance, and your own compass. But like, there was just something there. Action, Angel of Love, rest and rejuvenation, happy family, the world. Angel of Love is frequently a part of self-love, and action, it's a little bit an echo on that. It's just a little bit of an echo on that, where happy family is a card of fulfillment. It's a card of miracles. It's basically the 10 of Cups in this particular energy with the rest and rejuvenation. There's an offer and it's not right for you, but it's tempting enough in areas that you've actually been trying to heal. Again, don't let me make your decisions for you. It's your journey. But try to trust that if something has been guiding you thus far, it will come back to you in a form that is better suited to you. Let's move on to your love cards. Doesn't look like a big love month there. I should probably take teacher's deck as well, regular plugging of it, because it gives good mornings. Can I get some energy for, you did it, end of a harsh karmic cycle. Apparently you did well, the impossible made possible. And what have I got? None of the bait and switch energy from this, which is good. Okay. Jealousy is on there as well. But I have real love, brilliant idea, divinely timed prosperity, destiny of the lotus hope blossom. It's like you test, there's a test on something and like everything falls into place and divine timing is finally, it's like your last area of vulnerability. And I think it does have something to do with security. I do. Let's keep going here. This is the Island Wellness card. I was just telling the other group, it's changed its name to a love oracle. It's available at like Amazon and Barnes and Nobles and thing. And I'm kind of glad that it changed its name, because whenever anybody asks me what's that deck, I'm like, it's the Island Wellness cards. And it did not match what it does, because it's actually a very good love relationship card deck. Coffee cup. Meeting and conversing, savoring the moment, feeling uplifted, friendship. Cassette, outdated thinking, conditioning, replaying events over in your head. Twin flames. Everybody had a lot of twin flame energy too. Heartbroken, deeply hurt, sad, separation, breakup, feeling lost, grieving and mourning. Not enough, frustrated in a relationship, lack of confidence, self-sabotage. And then fear, ego issues, and jealousy. Now, twin flames are not necessarily a romantic pairing, and evolved souls have multiple matching energies. Now, twin flames can contain a lesson for us. This outdated thinking and then seduction. Attraction, flirting, dating, hooking up, temptation, third-party interference. There's something there. There's something that you've outgrown, but you'll be tempted. And I think it's in a professional relationship versus a personal one. I will be honest, there's just not a lot of this particular deck, this particular pile, not concentrating on relationships this month. Relationship to self seemed to be the one. What have I got for pile? Self-care. Clear your energy field and focus on yourself before acting. Now, by the way, when a pile doesn't focus on that area of your life, does that mean that you'll be like living in a nunnery? No, it's just the energy that the guides that are interacting with me right now are asking you to focus on has to do with your personal journey. Doesn't mean that you like have to sit on a shelf and be celibate if you don't want to. It just means that what you're getting guidance on does not have to do with that this month. Okay, and then I have awakening. Someone is undergoing a spiritual transformation. With protected, you are safe and divinely guided. And then mastery, you've learned a spiritual lesson. Everything is about putting pressure on something that is a vulnerability for you in order to free you going forward. Forgiving and learning and heart-to-heart conversations. This is from the Romance Angels. Remember, all of these decks, if we're not talking about, it still identifies energy. Forgiving and learning, as you release and heal the past, you experience more love in your present moments. Heart-to-heart conversations, honestly discuss your feelings with each other. There was something from the past there. Could it really be a twin flame returning? If it is, it does not appear to be taking some romantic form. Everything was about treating yourself as being worthy of the things that you truly desire and not taking any imitations. And I think that's really what the message is don't don't take any wooden nickels. Anybody else before I close this out? No, I think I'm going to go ahead and close this out with ask for help from others, ask for guidance. If there's somebody that you trust, ask them for advice as well. Sometimes we do need a second opinion, but don't let other people make your decisions for you. Take it under advisement, see if it resonates. And then I have challenges. Well, we knew that part with nature. Interact with nature in the outdoors around animals, farmlands, or by the ocean. This will be good for the soul and healing for you with challenges. Take time out from problems or conflicts or approach softly to avoid making matters worse. Don't resent challenges. Remember, that's always a graduation energy. It means that once you meet a challenge, you pass the test, it's like, whoa, that's done. I get my license again. And it's always in different areas. It's always in different areas. Group number 3, very, very interesting month. Be on your toes. Know that you can manifest a lot. Know that your temper will be tested. And it's because you have so much energy coming through you. The first, like I said, week or so, you're going to feel a little off the hook. Take the appropriate steps towards self-care. Woo. I get hoarse after this sometimes. It's a lot of talking. All right, let's get going here. Your angel answer card is over here. I'm trying to get it out. Angel answer card, if there's a question I don't answer in your reading, then hopefully it will give you some information. The cookie cards are usually just for fun, but sometimes they add added information. Tarot, Cirque de Tarot is bringing you a predictive spread, and this guy wanted out badly first. Thoughts create your reality. Think positively, think of positive outcomes, envision a better world. Remember, if you're envisioning a better world, that automatically helps you because you're already in the world. But don't give into pessimism or cynicism, even if that's what you see around you. Even if you're like the world, it seems to be a dumpster fire. You can still make a difference and we can still put it out. Okay, you have from the bird messages, purple swamp hen. Which is like, by the way, super cute. Abandon unsympathetic environments for your true element. It might be time for change. Let's find out. Crossing bridges. It's time for healing, connecting, mending, and releasing. Wonder what we're changing. Unfinished symphony, an unfinished story. Something with by the book. Oh. Don't be disheartened by that. Message. I'm going to, yeah, listen, I'm gonna pause and get all of the oracle cards down first. I think everybody's getting a little bit of a challenge around this time of mastering how much power like people truly have, particularly in this collective. Healers transmute energy. People who can transmute energy have a lot of control over it. That's why a lot of healers can do incredible manifestation work. And why is everybody in this collective likely to be a healer? And does that mean working as a healer? No. It means that you can change the energy of an environment around you. You naturally transmute energy. Addict, light attribute is help you recognize and confront addictive behaviors. There's adhering to a process already in this with that by the book and the unfinished symphony and message. And abandoning unsympathetic, it's like your authentic self is something you're going to have to choose. Shadow attributes are compromises, integrity, and honesty allows an addictive pattern to have authority over your inner spirit. With companion, loyalty, tenacity, and unselfishness, and loud motorcycles. Shadow attributes, betrayal by misusing confidence, a loss of personal identity. What is going on here? A slippery slope is being presented. If you adhere to the process that has brought you this far, you will be fine. Thoughts create your reality is remember to lean in on envisioning the world that you want and envisioning the things that might make you joyful. And if you're struggling to find those thoughts, then one of the things I tell people to is revisit the time in your life where it didn't occur to you to be hopeless, which is usually childhood. Now, like as I'm almost saying, had a hideous childhood, but I also spent tons of time alone reading, and I was very fanciful and very imaginative. And of course, I had a relationship with what turned out to be the spirit of air or the Archangel Gabriel. So I was kind of never alone and knew it, and was guided very much towards stories of goodness and like, I guess virtue. That's it always appealed to me. I don't know why, it just did. I was like the good guys. But we can all get tempted onto a different path. And it looks like self-destruction. Self-destructive behaviors, undermining self, is one of the things that can still rear its head in your life. I have time to reflect. And then peace. It's the strangest thing, but there's like the need to choose a form of self-soothing that is beneficial to you. So like taking walks in a garden, for instance, I took the dogs to the botanic garden this morning. And that's always very grounding for me. It also connects me really well and helps open up a channel. Choose the process that aids who you are now. There's a temptation around backsliding. There's just a temptation around backsliding. And honest to goodness, it showed up in every group. And why is that around the Lionsgate portal? Because it's a time of like perpetual motion. The structure of time is not linear. In this time of greater energy, the past has a little bit more influence over us, is part of what happens as well. Let's get going. Group number 1, 3, 4. Group number 4 spread. I'm apparently moving backwards in time. There we go. Group number 4 spread, please. Can I get it, please? 1 and 2 and 3. All right. A coping mechanism is something you will have to choose the healthy coping mechanisms that have served you. And it's not about self-isolation, which unfortunately is one of the energies around this. Companion. Addict. Remember, codependency is a form of addiction. Is it exactly like an addiction? Are people heroin? No. It is people become dependent for their feeling of safety, for their feelings of self-love, coming from somebody else, that they need somebody else there to help them with everything. Their view of self becomes dependent on another person. People who are codependent can often be in tremendous amounts of pain and can seek pain relief through substance abuse. Sometimes that becomes true addiction where you can't ever go near that substance again. And sometimes it is a compulsive behavior. Be careful. There's something around which you have a tendency to be compulsive. Something is going to challenge that. Challenge that. Choose the healthy path. Okay, I've got the Ace of Wands in reverse. Everybody had all these triggers. Death card in the upright. That's Scorpio energy. Scorpio is one of the signs that is greatly impacted by the Lionsgate portal because it's the 8th house. All of the things that the 8th house rules are very directly related to Scorpio, like passion and drive and love. And it's a very intense energy. Scorpio's being a little bit intense. The Death card is also new beginnings. It can be closure on things. Knight of Cups in reverse, self-love. I think we're just going to get very on the nose with this. Empress in reverse is innovative solutions. Also, not overindulging in things. The Empress in its worst incarnation, usually in reverse, because I do read reversals, can be about like indolence, like not moving, being sedentary, overindulgence, gluttony, that kind of thing. I almost always see it as an innovative solution because my favorite description of the Empress is that she's endlessly resourceful. This is in the recent past energy, though. So we are talking about things that don't serve you any longer in the solutions that you used to seek. With the Page of Wands in reverse, so many, now sometimes that's like nothing happened and don't do anything, you don't need to act. Because it's been such a theme throughout, it's like the world has weird things going on in it, and everybody's a little bit in an uproar. There is this very fits and starts energy throughout the month for all of the piles. And then I have the Tower in reverse. That's a rock bottom energy with the Addict card. Addiction is one of the least understood things that human beings undertake. It's not just a brain function. When people talk about it as being a disease, sometimes the disease is quite simply emotional injury and trauma. It is often a trauma response. Heal the trauma, and sometimes the addiction is addressed. Queen of Pentacles in reverse is anxiety. There's some, like I said, there's a self-soothing thing that could go wrong. It could be a retreat into self. It could be a retreat into a substance. Just, I've got testing around your personal power for this pile as well, which pile number 3 was all about that. 6 of Swords in the upright is sailing to smooth waters, leaving a difficult situation behind, tranquility, serenity, rescue, escape, escapism. Oh boy, Temperance in reverse. Group number 4, do be wary. With the 6 of Cups in reverse, which is a difficult relationship to the past. With the 2 of Cups in the upright. Boy, that has come out in multiple groups. A relationship from the past causes tests and might cause you to retreat into coping mechanisms that no longer serve you. Be in your head about it, and I never have to tell group 4 that, but this time I am. Make conscious choices. Because group number 4 is the energy of air, which is a mental energy. You will be drawn to different piles at different times. This is one of the few times that be very conscious of the actions that you take to deal with your emotions. And it's not going to necessarily be like, I found them in the closet with a bottle of tequila and a straw. It does not have to be that type of choice. And I'm not mocking addiction. I'm not. Like I've said, as a trauma survivor, I've engaged in substance abuse as well. And it's something that, like, I'm an occasional user of almost nothing now, but I try to remain, try to remind myself that it's like, oh, it's okay to occasionally do things, because I try not to do things in extremes, because that's a different form of rigidity and obsessive and compulsiveness. There's something you want to get away from. It's a little bit the Sun in reverse. Distressing, but not heartbreaking. Dispiriting. Make good choices. Make good choices. Maybe that's the last hill that you need to climb, is understanding that don't pay attention to the greater world, pay attention to your world. Pay attention to your world. And if, one person can change the entire world if they focus on what they're trying to do. Your energy, the amount of power that people can have to transmute energy. What is this saying? Thoughts create your reality. Thoughts create your reality. Something's upsetting in the greater world. And you might want to be in full retreat into the things that you used to do that don't serve you any longer. Stay with, this came through so meaningfully, stay with your program. And that might be a little literal one, or it could be an adherence to the methods that have brought you from the darkness in the past. Don't succumb. Wait, what an interesting and powerful month this is. Six of Wands in reverse. Can be a delayed journey. King of Cups in the upright. Ace of Swords in reverse. That can be confusion. Emotional regulation is just a big thing here. Am I getting what it is? No, but it appears to be personal versus global. It is not some catastrophic event, just something that tests your resolve to try and live your life rather than retreat from it. The Star in reverse, hopelessness sometimes. I've got two cards that are about a darker energy trying to overtake you. And the way that you need to deal with it is through cognitive behavioral therapy and choosing to interact with others, companion. You might like to retreat from the world just a lot. With the Ace of Cups in reverse, group number 4, and then the Two of Wands in reverse, which is, it's about needing to choose. Group number 4, absolutely everything is about your choices. Understand that it's like nothing else looks bad other than there's some pressure being put on you to be your most powerful self in the choices that you make. And it's not catastrophic. It's just not. The Magician. With the Ten of Cups in reverse. King of Swords in reverse. Could be a family situation. The Ten of Cups in reverse is a lack of emotional fulfillment sometimes. I'm very intrigued. Everybody got that Six of Cups energy as well with the Two of Cups. Six of Swords. What is this challenge? Are you going to give me any hints? Emotional, please align chakras, do balancing things, do emotional, like there's a look for mantras that release negative energy, play things in the background, do something to keep your frequency tuned to the energy you want to live in. Please don't retreat into old habits, even if there is this feeling of, I don't know how to cope with something. Yes, you do. Yes, you do. It is through meaningful and purposeful choice. There's something weird in the world as well, but it's not like cataclysmic. It's just, as I said, dispiriting. Let's get some affirmations cards to see if we can help with that. Work looks good. Work looks like it's the least of your concerns. This really does appear to be in a personal sphere. The Six of Cups is a relationship from the past or to the past. I don't think it's like you're finding out somebody. Somebody still wears the same spots. I don't think that you had a lot of belief that they had changed though. And this could be in the greater world energy. Don't invest too much of the difficulties in the moment. Know that there's a greater picture. Adhere to the process that you have found that has delivered you in the past. There's still worth in it. I have forgiveness. Woo! I will grant myself the same forgiveness and understanding that I extend to my loved ones. Painful thoughts that hold guilt are simply memories, an acknowledgement of growth. I am not the same person that I once was, and knowing that is glorious. Once again, don't revert to somebody who wasn't serving you, even if you feel like there's a repeating pattern in your life. Caring nature. I will always aim to be sympathetic, empathetic, compassionate, and kind. However, I will avoid expending my own mental health and happiness for the sake of others. My first priority is me. Self-care, self-care, self-care. Circle of life. All the relationships in my life, I'm sure that was a great face. I'm super sorry. All the relationships in my life should bring me peace, happiness, and growth. It is worth analyzing which relationships in my life are not serving me as I serve them. Just like Earth's trees and creatures, my relationships must give and take equally. Like I said, I got some weird energy around a leopard, did not change their spots. It's a general reading, and the way this comes through is in messages that may have meaning, but they will take a different form for everybody. A relationship from the past, it really might be about family. It really might be about family. Somebody's taken advantage of you in the past and you realize they have been again. Don't retreat into the self-soothing that was destructive. You're going to have to choose healthy methods to get through a challenging time, both in the exterior world and the interior world. Now, is it all just gloom and doom? No, peace, co-creation, abandon unsympathetic environments for your true element. Peace. Ooh. Second peace card. I'm a being of love and I release all negative energy. It really feels like you're being asked to release something that is both about what you used to do to cope, and then it seems to be a relationship from the past as well, that it might be time to say, patience. I accept that everything happens in divine order. Patience is peace. Patience is one of the cures for anxiety. It's a very healing energy. It's very powerful energy. Peace and patience. You have power over you. You don't have power over this other person. If you can view it that way, your choices will become easier. For some reason, you want to take responsibility for this person, and it does appear to be something in a family. Surrender. I can release my need to control. Oh my goodness. Failure. I understand that a mistake is only an opportunity to learn. Like I said, there's something you want to take responsibility for. Don't take responsibility for it. It's not your responsibility. You are your responsibility. There's a bit of a challenge around caring for yourself. It's a good month. Lots of creative energy, like lots of good, meaningful, like surface level relationships. But there's this core relationship that is got this weird, challenging energy around it. That's what the guides are just like, be aware, be aware, be aware. There we go. Can I get a fortune card or 2 or 3 or however many you feel like giving me? Well, at least they're causing this to be the most challenging pile of the reading. It's like I've been ascending a hill this whole reading. Goals, like I said, progress is positive and personal goals will be achieved. This is a money card. Like everything's good in like the 3D work life. That's not where your challenges are coming from. You retreat into that to get away from a personal situation sometimes anyway. Lovers, there are 2 paths ahead. Be true to yourself. And then snake, your intuition and healing powers will guide you to a better path, but be careful. One of the things that I do every day is I get up and I say Psalm 91, and part of that is saying, I will tread on the lion and the cobra, I will trample the great lion and the serpent. And whenever I see that card, it is about needing to be self-protective. It just is a need to be self-protective and to be okay with that. And there is something about feeling let down by somebody. Just 6 of Swords, 6 of Cups. It's like somebody doesn't belong in your journey any longer. Is this like a love relationship? I have no reason to believe it's romantic, not even one. I have, the Oracle, seek wisdom and guidance from elders. The Hand of Fate, forces beyond your control intervene. The Maiden, a new relationship blossoms. And then the Caduceus, or what's the medical symbol? You will receive news from afar. Unseen forces watch over you would have been the next one. I keep getting that everything old is new again energy, but that you are being given, it's a little bit of a crossroads energy. The 2 of Wands in the upright is a crossroads energy. The 2 of Wands in reverse, which you have over here, is about choosing. Make the best choices to serve you in the long run, not to mitigate or to resolve pain in the moment. It's still there when you get back from whatever it is you're doing to escape. And then you feel worse about yourself. It's like, I don't know if it's overeating on sugar. I don't know if it's like drinking like an entire shelf of Jack Daniels. I don't know what it is. I'm in no way mocking it. I don't know what it could be. It's just that it can be different for absolutely everybody. And you're getting a heads up ahead of time is somebody's going to be who they've always been, but you are different. Choose differently, have a better outcome. Don't focus on whatever in the other part of the world is making you go, oh, your work life is good, your friendships are good. Focus on that which is good. And remember, if you focus on creating a better reality for yourself, you're creating a better reality overall. No, I am not Italian, by the way. Somebody asked me that in an email. My mother is from Scotland. I think it's because I talk with my hands just constantly. But no, I'm not Italian. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, and 4. I was in Italy once with a guide and did notice it's like, well, she talks with her hands a lot. Oh. All right, here we go. Temple path, caring connections. This chakra, Archangel Uriel, a woman holding a heart, a magician in the mirror, victory. I think you're going to do just awesome and great and fine. But I think that hearing heads up ahead of hand, sometimes we will get warnings ahead of time. Sometimes we really will. We get less and less specific information as we become more powerful in our journey. Everybody in this collective is psychic. Just is everybody psychic? Yes, everybody can be. Do some people have more psychic abilities than others? Quite clearly. And this particular collective has a lot of people who are just, it can startle me how psychic some of my clients are. It's like, why are you even here? I just like energy attracts like energy. Psychic gifts are, we need to learn how to trust them, and you get less and less information from exterior sources when you're being asked to trust yourself more and more. Every now and then there will be something that you get very specific. There, we're shining a light on this. You need to know that this is about helping you, not hindering you. Addiction. Oh, okay. Retreat, apology, and then true love with boundaries. It's echo, 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 echo. I don't know why addiction is showing up multiple times. Maybe you do. If you're drawn to this pile, I hope it makes sense to you. Believe in you, like choose purposefully. Know that this is but a ripple in the pond, and it will become a smooth sail once again. Once you resolve this need to view somebody as being different than they are sometimes. Will they ever get there if they choose appropriately? If they choose appropriately. Enabling is not love. Enabling is not love. It is causing an affliction, an addiction, and an injury to be prolonged. A no in the short term is the most loving, kind thing that you can do. There's a family energy around this. We have tribe members. Ancestral healing, good heart. Black magic is apparently all dark and evil works done, got dead, you are safe. And then gaslighting. That King of Swords in reverse is like really somebody spinning a tail sometimes to get you to do something. I think you've been a soft touch for somebody in the past, and that somebody may have, oh God, and if it's me, I know who it is. Somebody may be struggling more than you realize. Somebody may be struggling more than you realize. And if they're asking for your help, question what they're telling you. Okay. What else do we want to do? Did I get those cards yet? I don't think I got these yet. Maybe I'll check. Am I telling you? Nope. Patience, peace, surrender. No, we already got these guys. Can I lose track? Yeah, when I do 4 piles in a row, I can. A lot of times when I'm filming those pick a cards, first of all, they tend to not be quite as long sometimes. This collective are people that I have very personal messages for. I can pause in between as well. It's just not quite as draining. But we have an echo throughout our collective about some tests during a very powerful time. And in this particular, I don't have the 7 of Swords. I just have somebody who I think you're going to spot it really easily and it might really bum you out, and don't let it. Stabbed in the back, heartbreak, pain, separation, deception, shocking attack. Somebody's not telling the truth. And it seems to be related to an addiction. I don't think you have an addiction, by the way. I don't think it's you. I think you retreat into coping mechanisms that are isolating. And your coping mechanisms are not destructive in the same way, but they're isolating. Addiction and companion, it's like a friend. The dragonfly, be lighthearted, finding out, things coming to light, adapt, change, and heal. Keys on a ring, many options, decision, unconventional string along, one night stand, and then kisses. Unconditionally loving, giving and receiving affection, falling in love, healing heart. Okay, so enabling is not love. And then unconditional love is not unconditional access. Unconditional love is not unconditional support of actions. There's somebody who the best thing that you can do is to call it out, and it'll be hard for you because it's going to hurt your heart a little. Don't be afraid. Don't be afraid. Remember, every healing journey begins with clarity. Okay, where am I going now? The romance angels, even though there's zero indication of that, it looks like people in the grips of an addiction can be very manipulative and tell quite the story about why they need help sometimes. And the most loving thing you can do is, if you don't want to call it out, be like, hey, I think you're using again, or whatever it is that they're doing. What you can do is simply say no without elaboration. I'm sorry, I can't do that. And is it hard? Sometimes, yeah. Worth waiting for, divine timing, and then deception. Yeah, that was a silent F-bomb. I beg your pardon. It's so hammered here. It's just so hammered here. Release your ex. It's time has come to clear your energy. I do not know who this person is, but my goodness, somebody's manipulating you. And does it have to be a drug or a substance? No. Some people, to avoid accountability, to avoid their healing path, to avoid a lot of things, they tell lies. They deceive people. There's something going on there. There's just something going on there. What else am I going to do here? I think I'm going to call it a day. And like, I'm clearly a little rattled by that. It looks a little difficult, but it looks like you'll get through it. It looks like a lot of areas of your life go super, super well. It looks like you have friends who will support you. Although you're not good at asking for support, you retreat into whatever self-isolating behaviors that cause you to experience a little bit of numbness when your heart hurts. View this as the next stage that could help a person, not as a terrible setback. I have from the, okay, there's something better from the angel answers. And then I have difficult times, and I have romance. This is the only, love is set to sizzle, the chance for romance is high for those seeking a connection. Nothing here says that this deception is around a romantic connection. Can it be? Yes, because that 10 of Cups in reverse, it could be your partner. And like, please don't throw rotten fruit at me if it doesn't fit your situation. I mean, it could, it's not going to hit me. And I'm not mocking anything. It's just, it is so much better to release something that does not serve you than to keep telling yourself it will get better if it won't. And you deserve real love, and you deserve real happiness. And something is going down about needing to confront who somebody truly is, both for your sake, and it appears to be a family matter, which can be a partner. Don't be afraid. Like, by the way, if you're happily paired up, like, first of all, really consider whether or not this is your pile, because there's a lot of addict cards, a lot, and it came through twice. So if you're like, no, that doesn't fit my person, probably not your pile. We can get drawn to like a part of a message. Now, this was almost the entire message. So again, if this does not fit your situation, I beg of you, do not be unduly upset. Can you be a little bit on your toes? Sure. Group number 4, that was the central message. Everything good, everything great, good month. Somebody is having some kind of relapse. And don't let it dishearten you, because relapse can be the very thing that puts somebody on the road to recovery in a meaningful and a true sense. Okay. That was a slightly difficult energy. Know that it's not the only thing. You have other positive things here. Forgiveness, caring nature, peace. It's time for healing, connecting, mending, and releasing. By the book, I said at the very top of this, adhering to a program before I got hammered by addict cards. Message. It kind of looks to me like somebody's going to ask you either for money or a favor. And you don't turn a blind eye to what might be the real story behind it, because again, it will prolong something. And if you realize, oh no, don't give up. Everybody has pitfalls on a journey. There's something better as well. There was that romance card. Could it be separate? Gosh, I hope so, because I got a bunch about how you'll have good connections with friends and support elsewhere if you will turn towards the positive things. You too are meant to be adhering to a program or to a method that brings you the best results. But there's somebody who, like I said, there's that energy that repeated over and over again. Whenever it comes through in that type of message over and over again, pay attention to it. Pay attention to it. Don't be disheartened. That's the way people get better, is when they run out of avenues to prolong something. All right. Sorry to end on a slightly down note. The Lionsgate portal is incredibly powerful. Remember, everybody in this as well. We all have slightly different challenges to face and to heal and to mend. And you do have an energetic family. Everybody that is part of this collective is very much like you. The collective is an energetic signature that is on the same frequency. We are basically made from the same energy. You're never alone in anything. You're never alone in anything. You're never alone. Okay. Take care. Be well. I will see you in, my goodness, September.